In today's episode, we are going to be making a delicious black forest cake. Making your own birthday cake is a rite of passage for any home baker. It's officially 2 days to my birthday, and if anything else, this year I decided I am going to be making my own birthday cake. And what better flavor I should make other than my favorite birthday cake, black forest cake. And you can also make your own birthday cake right at home. We have all our ingredients ready, and we're going to start off by adding our oil. And I'm going to work with the brown sugar immediately. We're going to add milk. And I'm also going to add 2 eggs. And I'm going to begin mixing. We're going to add some sour cream. Some vanilla. And I'm going to continue mixing. This is my special. I like to add some liquid chocolate into my black forest cake. This is enough for the wet ingredients. We're going to do the dry ingredients now. To our sifter, our strainer, we're going to add our baking soda, baking powder, and I will leave all the recipe amounts in the description box. Flour, salt, and we're going to sift this. This is to make the cake very light. We're also going to add our cocoa powder. We're going to break up all the lumps. As you've just seen a piece of baking soda drop in there, and that's why you also sift. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients into 3 parts. We're going to beat on low speed just until everything gets incorporated and soaked up. I am beating it on low speed because I don't want too much air to get into the cake. Let's add our second batch. And now we're going to add our last batch of flour. Make sure that you have preheated your oven and you have prepared your pans and greased them properly to make sure that the cake doesn't stick. You don't want to over mix it. As soon as everything gets soaked up, then you want to turn it off. And this is our black forest cake batter. You must make sure that this foundation of the cake is moist and fluffy. And this right here is good. I am using 3 7-inch circle pans, and I simply grease them with some oil and line them with some parchment paper. Some bakers use cocoa powder and distribute it inside to prevent it from sticking, but I find it makes the cake a little bit too bitter, so I don't do that. I simply grease it, oil it with a parchment paper, and it comes out perfect every time. It is important that you have the same amount or close enough to the same amount in each pan. That way it bakes evenly and it bakes the same time. So we're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 minutes. Our cakes are ready. They are nice and moist. So we're going to now tot all 3. Torting the cake simply refers to slicing one cake horizontally into 2 or more layers. You can tart with a knife or you can use a cake leveler as I am using. It is not about what you use to tart, it is how you tart. It gives an overall beautiful presentation when you do it well. This is 1 can of cherry pie filling, and what I did was to separate the cherries from the gel because I really don't like much of the cherries inside. And I flavored this with some cherry emulsion, so it gives the cake a deeper flavor. Into a bowl I'm adding 3.5 cups of cold 35% heavy whipping cream. Whipping the cream is all about timing. You want it to be stiff and hold its shape, but you still want it to be smooth and creamy. And we're going to beat it until it's soft peaks. So once you have begun to see the ribbons forming in the cream, that's when you know you have gotten to soft peaks, so we're going to stop. And this took right about 3 minutes. Next we're adding 1 cup of powdered sugar and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar as a stabilizer. Now we're going to mix this to stiff peaks, which should take another 3 minutes. And we have gotten to stiff peaks, so it should stay on the mixer. This right here is good. Because my cakes are 7-inch cakes, I am using an 8-inch board to add the cake onto. So I will have 1 inch in excess. So I am going to add some cherry pie filling on here, a generous amount, because one of the worst things can happen is when you purchase a Black Forest cake and you find some thin layer of cake and a whole lot of cream that doesn't make any sense. So I try to avoid that by making my own. Make sure that you are spreading a generous amount of cherry pie filling and whipped cream in between. So we're adding about 10 cherries, not too much of these sour cherries, because I want the flavor of the whipping cream, the cake, and the cherries to all come together when I devour this cake. We're going to put another layer and we are going to repeat. This one is going to be the last layer because I'm going to run out of whipping cream. This is when I'm going to remove the parchment paper. And I'm going to use my cake smoother and begin to crumb coat. And if you are still here watching, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. Subscribing to my channel is a way of saying, hey Chef J, I enjoy your content and I want more. And trust me, I got a lot more where this came from. Also, you can comment below because I would love to hear from you, especially some of your bad cake experiences. Run the cake smoother around a few times and you want to clean as you go to wipe off all excess as you are going, and that makes it very smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as soon as you are done covering the cake, you want to make sure that you place it in the refrigerator before you add the chocolate, and you also want to start cleaning up the sides as you go along. This piping bag I have some melted chocolate, and this is just a regular milk chocolate bar, and we're going to cut a nice hole, and now we're going to make a little design. The strip that I am using is the circumference and the height of the cake. The design that I am going for is something like a basket weave, but you don't have to follow this design. You can do any design on the parchment paper and it will come out exactly as you designed it. And thank you in advance for all the happy birthdays. Now you want to lift this and you want to wrap it around the cake. You want to make sure that you leave a little bit of excess just in case it's too short. It's better for it to be longer than shorter. You just want to hug the entire cake with the parchment paper and the chocolate design. Place it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes to firm up. I'm used to cut off the excess right here. I am going for a more rustic look by leaving the excess chocolate at the top of the cake. If you wish to level it off, if you decide to try the recipe, you can simply use a warm knife that has been placed in some warm water, wiped off, and you just want to go all the way around the excess chocolate and flip it behind the cake. And we have a really nice design. Pipe some cream on top. These final touches are what makes the cake look professional. You could add a sprinkle of chocolate on top, but I prefer not to. I'm just going to add a few cherries and I'm going to leave the center clean. And now you are guaranteed, if you try your own birthday cake, you know exactly what you are getting inside and you are not surprised by a whole lot of cream to a few pieces of cake. You can even try making this cake on Valentine's Day. How easy was this? And this is our final look. Thank you for watching today's episode. Make sure you subscribe, share the video, help me to grow my YouTube channel by telling a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend, and see you in another one of my recipes.